and she's going to give us an opening statement. And then Jordan and Luke, your candidates for Chief of Staff and Vice President, are going to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Natalie. Hello, everyone, and good evening, my fellow Broncos. My name is Alex Kasperzak, and I'm running to be your student body president. I'm joined here by my vice presidential candidate, Luke Kritzman, and Chief of Staff candidate, Jordan Dunn. I have full confidence in their leadership, and I know that they will do well in their involvement for years to come. I've had the greatest honor serving in several roles in the Western Student Association, as well as leadership roles in the Office of Student Transitions and Admissions. But most importantly of all, I am a student who shares the Bronco experience with you all. My president is to be the Chief Empowerment Officer of the student body. My job is to empower you all to have a voice and to help you voice any concerns you may have to the university. However, I am one person who does not share the same experiences as the people next to me or you. That is why I want to listen. My focus is to listen to as many students as I can, because I can't assume what students want just because I think they need it or if I think they need it or so why should you care? You have assignments to worry about, work to get to, and a million other things to do. I do as well. So why should you care about this election? Because it is our voice. I'm here to step up and ensure the stability of our voice. The student body's voice is the administration is the Western Student Association. I will ensure that you will have that as a student because it is my job. I promise to uphold the integrity of the Western Student Association and achieve our vision of empowering students, empowering students. I hope that tonight you'll be able to ask any questions you may have, and I urge you to keep asking them long after the event is here. Make sure that you vote before Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Experience WU with the appointments. Onward to the Brown and Gold. Thank you.
About me is I've been serving as the qualifying arts academic chair at WSA since last November, early December, as well as being RSO representative for Outspoken, one of Western's largest LGBT RSO. And I'm up here today running, and I think that together we make a really great team. I'm so happy to be here running to represent you guys at the university level. Thank you.
Why did you choose to make your campaign about these things, and how will they make WMU a better place?
Yeah, thank you. So we kind of sat down, we had an idea to talk to each other about how WSA can improve, how WSA can serve more of the student body, and a lot of our campaign focuses on the greater student body and the individual student. Outreach is a really important aspect of our campaign, both internally and externally. We want to reach out to students, we want to build that organizational credibility and trust, and we want students to know that we are there for them if they need anything, and they can trust us that we will get that done. If you want to add anything, any of you guys?
I think you hit it right on the head.
Yeah, so a lot of our, we have honesty, talking about transparency, and organizational integrity and stability, and then onward is a lot of Bronco pride and forward thinking. Our meaning aspect talks about helping students find a meaning just not through RSOs, but through other parts of campus as well. So that kind of goes in that university pride aspect and things like that. And then of course, I think that the most important one is the effectiveness point. We want to really become really effective in our organization by utilizing all parts of it. So that is something that I'm really excited to accomplish.
Awesome. So one of the ballot measures is an increase in the student assessment fee. What is this fee, and how would it be beneficial to students if we raised it?
Yeah, so the student assessment fee is currently a line on your tuition. It's $42, and we are asking to raise it from $42 to $62. It is used to allocate funds to registered student organizations, or RSOs, Bronco Bash, and hundreds of different events that happen on campus every year. Student engagement is thriving on campus currently, and we want to continue that, that trend. So we want some more money just to allocate that better to RSOs. And the easiest way for me to explain it to students, especially students who might not be in an RSO or be in a club or be involved, you're going to be paying that $20 no matter what. There is no escaping that at all, so why not have it go towards students and go to them more directly? If we don't raise this fee, then students are just going to be paying out of their own pocket anyways. I could anticipate RSOs doing more fundraisers, having more dues, things like that, which you would probably be paying more anyways to be in an RSO if you didn't raise the fee. Would you like to add anything? Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I'm taking everything.
In the voter guide, you mentioned that you want to increase the pride that Western students have in their university. What are some of your ideas to best pursue this?
Okay, I'll talk a little bit about this one because I really want to see Western become people's homes. Like, I'm not trying to put a definition to what it means to be a Bronco, but I feel like students are a little disengaged with campus because they go to Western, sure, but a lot of people don't really have that meaning, like I am a Western student. And I've been hearing from a lot of students who used to come here, like, I remember walking outside and seeing students everywhere, all on the grass, playing games, enjoying stuff. And now it seems like students have become more to themselves. And now my goal is to try to get students more out, meeting new people, engaging with campus, engaging with each other, finding new RSOs, going to events. I feel like that is what makes a student here a Bronco. And I feel that by just being able to see people, you will connect more and you will be proud to go to the school.
All right, we have a question from the audience on the Slido, which you can join through the Slack. What experiences on campus have motivated your desire to represent the student body?
Yeah, so I had the absolute honor of being a student orientation leader this past summer for freshman orientation, and if anyone's thinking about doing it, please do it. It is so much fun. I was able to really make an impact on a lot of students, especially freshmen coming in to Western. Jordan is an example of that, and I still have students coming to me today being like, oh my gosh, you were my freshman orientation leader, or you're my fall welcome ambassador. You made such a big impact on my first couple months here at Western, and that is why I do what I do. That is why I love serving the students. I love serving the student body, because making a difference in at least one person's life means the world to me. But yeah, I don't know who wants to go next. What was the question? Can you repeat it?
What experiences on campus have motivated you to pursue these leadership positions?
I would just say serving as University Pride, seeing people like come to the RSO exhibitions and actually see what our school has to offer, that is something that motivated me to continue to expand that. So that's kind of one of the experiences.
I'm seeking this position because it's just a leadership opportunity that I think more students should be taking up. Like, all of my leadership opportunities, a lot of the times I step up into a position that nobody else has stepped up in. Like, for my RSO Outspoken, there was nobody who was really fulfilling coming to WSA. Like, there was one person who was there, but they were coming because they had to be. I went, I asked, like, I'm interested in student government. Like, do you guys need a person? And they're like, please fill in. So that's how I got there. And then to represent the College of Fine Arts, that position sat open for like 2 months. No one stepped up. And I was a freshman at the time. I'm like, I'll see what I can do here. And I stepped in, and I've been honored to serve the students. It's been so much fun. It's been a real blast. And I feel that those experiences have been propelling me to come forward and represent all students instead of just the ones in my college.
All right, another question from the audience here. So it is clear that there hasn't been a plan to build up future leaders since there is one slate on the ballot. How do you plan to build future leaders?
That's a great question. So one thing that I do want to mention is that I am a junior, so this next year I'll be a senior. Luke is a sophomore, and Jordan is a freshman. So I don't know, kind of that is building future leaders in an aspect. You are also a freshman, Natalie, and you are getting involved. I know a lot of other freshmen who are getting involved in WSA. So I think that one of the big goals, especially when when we are building our cabinet, is getting those younger leaders on board and training them up to be the future presidents of WSA, vice presidents, chief of staffs, whatever that may be. I think that it's really important to realize also that we do have a lot of senior leadership on this team this year. We will have a lot of turnover, but that just creates more opportunities for students to get involved in WSA and become just as passionate about it as I am.
Yeah, awesome. All right, another question from Slido. What are your strategies for increasing engagement on campus? How will you ensure that you are fully representing the student body?
Yeah, I will answer that second one right off the top. One of the things that I really want to do in our outreach aspect is I want to do presidential office hours / tabling / whatever that may look like on different college campuses or different WMU campuses. There we go, not college campuses. I'm not going somewhere else. But so different campuses, and then also the different buildings within the main campus as well. I think that we do have a bit of a problem of just sticking to this main area, and we could probably go over to the business college. Oh, hey, business students, what's wrong? You know, going to the fine arts college. Hey, fine arts students, what's wrong? Things like that. But then also going to College of Health and Human Services, aviation, engineering, kind of going out and spreading ourselves out more will really influence that. Do you want to talk about it?
I can talk for a little bit. Yeah. All right, and another thing on how I'd like to increase engagement is we have so many RSOs doing so many events, but it always seems like a lot of these events don't have as many people as people would like to see. Like, I mean, the town hall, we have a pretty good turnout, but we could always use some more people. So what I would like to do is we want to go to students and see what they want to see at these things. Because I'm not saying that so many events is bad, but I think we should see what students want to see and do that instead of going, let's just do an event. Let's see what we can bring in. I want to go straight to the students and be, what would you like to see on campus, and how can we do that?
Yeah. What do you see as your administration's biggest challenge?
I think that one really important thing that we'll have to think about is looking back on our previous what is the word I'm looking for? Previous accomplishments and previous failures of from the organization. I think that, you know, we've been around here for over 100 years. There has been contention, there has been failures, but that is room to grow. That means that we have to grow, and that means that we can learn from our mistakes and see what happened, and then we can improve upon them. One of the things that I want to do as student body president, especially as I'm going to be a junior, a senior next year, is leaving the organization better than I came into it. So focusing on how the organization is going to look once I leave. One of the things we want to do is look over the strategic plan. We do have a strategic plan in place, and that is due to be relooked at my year. Another thing is a constitutional rewrite. Not really a rewrite altogether, but just looking back, it's been 2 years since we've had our current constitution has been around for 2 years, so we want to see, okay, what worked, what didn't, what can we fix? I really want to make sure that this organization is in good hands before I leave as well. So I will also ensure that we are hiring younger people. I have 2 people right next to me that will be here when I'm gone. I want to make sure that we are in good hands.
Yeah. All right, Luke, this one is specifically for you. Somebody in the audience asked, Luke, what do you see as the purpose of the vice president being?
Well, the vice president is, number one, the right-hand man to the president. It seems like any task that the president would like to see me do, I'll get on it. But it seems that traditionally the vice president role seems to have kind of their own route. It seems pretty loose, and they get to work on passion projects a lot. Like, I believe it was the vice president who got the barriers on West Michigan, right across from the Two Fellows. And I see the vice president as a role just to empower students, figure out how to make this campus a better place, while also being tasked with being the second-hand man to the president.
Yeah. All right. What will you do to promote organizational stability during your administration?
Yeah, so I think that it's going to be really important on the cabinet leadership, the legislative leadership, all of the leadership in WSA, making sure that there's good morale there. I think that my predecessor, well, do I still call it a predecessor if it's 2 years ago? Chain Kid and Alicia, they did a really good job with team bonding, shouting out our leaders, and overall practicing empathetic leadership. I think that it's really important to make sure that your leaders that you are either building up or you have on your team know that they are valued and that they are not loved in a way that like is weird, but like loved in a way like, oh my gosh, I love you, you're so awesome. I think that we are a very relational organization, so we really depend on a lot of the relationships that we have with people. And also another thing is that, please let me know if I'm talking too loud. Okay. And another thing is having fun. I believe that leadership should be fun, and leadership is fun. If we're just kind of, sulking around, not caring, not having fun, then I don't see what the point is. So I think that one thing I will really push is making sure that we do have fun while also getting work done.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone wants to add to that. Okay.
All right, so WSA's motto is Empowered Students Empowering Students. How will you empower students throughout your term?
We would like to empower students by bringing students to the table that we work at. We want to get in contact with all RSO leaders and, once again, just hear from them on what's happening on campus. Like, we want to know what every student faces. 'Cause I come from the College of Fine Arts. I know a lot about College of Fine Arts. That doesn't mean I know everything about an RSO that deals with aviation stuff would know. I think that by having a very open cabinet, we should hear from every student and know exactly what they would like to see.
Yeah, I would say since one of our things is based upon transparency, just making sure that everyone knows what we're doing, how we're doing it, and just being there for students.
All right, question from the audience. What issue on campus are you the most passionate about addressing?
I think that one thing about being student body president is being passionate about any problem that comes up to them at that very moment. I think that one thing that a lot of student leaders especially are really passionate about right now is the funding issue and allocations and things like that. I know that it's going to be really hard to get a new allocations chair after Tyler leaves because Tyler's amazing, but I have full full confidence that Tyler and his team are going to transition the new team really well. Another thing is all of the budgeting and the money and things, and I know that Mason, Chief of Finance, will do amazing in that as well. One of the things that I'm really excited about is to become passionate about those problems once they come up. I think that's going to be really exciting, and I am very, very excited about it.
All right, another question from the audience. WSA has control over a lot of money. What will you do to promote the responsible use of these funds?
Yeah, so I think that, of course, checks and balances are great. I think this also goes into that constitutional rewrite a little bit is seeing, okay, our funds. I think that our funds currently are handled pretty well. I think that we, of course, have room for an improvement, seeing what things that we should spend money on, things that we shouldn't. One thing that I'm really excited to do in the summer is go over all of the different things that we spend money on and seeing if it's worth it or it's not worth it. Where can we, maybe, hey, let's not spend that much money here, but maybe let's put it more into Mental Health Week, for example, because Mental Health Week is pretty big. I think that it's important to have a strong chief of finance, which I do know that I will. And he's playing with his paper. And I hope I answered that question. I got a little, he's still not listening. Okay, it's fine.
Right.
It's fine.
All right, another question from the audience here. What will you do when members of your cabinet disagree with you or question your leadership ability?
Yeah, so since I would be the chief of staff, using past experiences when it comes to like moderating disagreements, I would just like view both sides and then discuss, like explain how both sides are definitely like fair but equal, and then also make sure like there's no like ill will after the event or the decision has been made.
Yeah, I think another thing is always being really communicative, talking to people, checking in, being like, hey, are you okay? Things like that. I think that there might be conversations that are hard, and that's okay. I think that that's going to happen no matter what, and I am prepared to have those difficult conversations, but I'm also really excited just to, work through that. I think that's going to grow both me as a leader and then that other person as a leader as well.
That's great, yeah. So this is kind of a fun question, but what are you most looking forward to in your term?
Oh, do you want to answer first? Do you want to think?
You can all answer, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll all answer it. Honestly, I love talking to people all the time. I love interacting with people. I love getting to know people, and that's one of my favorite. That is going to be my favorite thing. I think is talking with people and then just interacting. I mean, like especially after COVID, I feel like we all kind of feel it. We're all kind of the same age. Is that we just wanted to go out and talk to people and have fun. So I'm really excited for that. That's going to be a lot of fun for me.
I look forward to working with the cabinet members and their passion projects and like helping them get those off the ground and actually affecting the student body.
I just want to be out on campus, meet new people, have some fun with the role. It seems like every leadership position I've been in, the best part is meeting students, faculty, just administration, just a new person. Teach me something new, have some fun with it, get something done, help the student body. That's my favorite thing. Like being able to walk on campus, and go, I saw you at this RSO, or you're in this club. I love to be there for the people.
Yeah. So somebody in the audience wants to know what your strategy is for hiring cabinet members or appointing them, whatever you want.
I feel like I've been thinking about it a little bit in my brain. I think that one really important aspect of hiring a person, and I have done so with I have hired 2 assistant director of marketing outreaches, one last year, one this year. I really looked at their passion. I really asked, why do you want to be in this role? Like, what drives you, I think is really important. But then another aspect is making sure that they're going to actually do the job. So trusting them, making sure that they are going to serve the student body just as well as I want them to and as much as they can. I think another part of it, mostly though, is the passion. I think that you really need that passion to thrive in the organization. And I think also maybe if someone doesn't have the passion, you can also grow that as well just by being a leader to your cabinet members.
Yeah. All right, another question from the audience. The public opinion of WSA right now, especially leadership, is very bad. How do you plan to build that back up and build back trust within the student body?
That is a great question. I do understand that, and especially as Director of Marketing Outreach, I see that. So I think that one of the most important things is making sure we get out and we have consistent conversations. I think that a lot of the time in WSA, we have talked to people saying, oh yeah, we'll go do that, and then we don't do it, or we either talk to them again when election season comes around. So I think that one thing that I'm planning on doing is trying over the summer, contacting RSO leadership, different leaders all over campus, and being like, hey, how about we have a fixed monthly meeting where we just talk about all of the issues that are going on in this group, this part of campus, and this part of campus, and this part of campus. So getting together academic RSOs, getting together affinity RSOs, all of the different groups of RSOs, getting those leaders together and then talking. I think that making sure that it's consistent is always the hardest part, so that's why I would think of some, fixed monthly meeting every third Friday of the month at 2 p.m. we have a meeting, something that works for everyone. I think that is definitely one of the places that we lack is that consistent conversation, and I'm really excited to work on that and get that better in our organization.
Another question from the audience. Appreciate your participation. Lack of involvement on campus could be due to the large number of students living off campus. How will you improve outreach and involvement for commuter students?
As a commuter student, I live like 5 minutes away. Sometimes it's hard because you just want to go home after class and you're tired. And I think that one of the things that we are working on slowly but surely is drop-by events. We are not an event planning organization by any means, but we are an advocacy organization. So I think that one thing that we could do is in the ways that we advocate for students is having drop-by events. Hey, drop any sort of issue you have with Western in this little box, or hey, let's talk with each other real quick, and then I'll give you a piece of pizza and you can leave. I think that those drop-by events are going to be really beneficial for those students, and then also going to where they are. So again, reiterating, going to different campuses, going to different buildings on those campuses, and really meeting the students where they're at, rather than saying, hey, come here, we go to them.
Yeah, that's great. All right, many students are not aware of WSA's resources for them. How will you best promote these resources and make students aware of them?
Yeah, so we do have a lot of resources. One thing that I had been working on this past year was The Legacy. The Legacy is our monthly newsletter that goes out to every student in the student body. We are also one of that email specifically is one of the most opened emails on campus. So we do have all of that information on those every single month. I think that another thing that I wanted to mention is I have increased our following on Instagram by 1,000 since I've come into my position as Director of Marketing and Outreach. So I think that by hiring another strong Director of Marketing and Outreach, we can continue that push of our resources and all of our events and things like that. Sorry, do you guys want to say anything? Yeah.
Another way is we want to bring resources to you. We don't want students to have to struggle to find what helps them. Like in my position right now, I go to, as the College of Fine Arts academic rep, I would go to the College of Fine Arts and I would have a table there. I would have information saying, here's what I do, here's what we are, how can we help you, what do you want from us? Like we go straight to the student body. And a lot of students don't know that these things exist until we get out there and they see us on the ground. Even faculty didn't know that these things were a thing. Like I had professors come up and say, this is so great that someone's in this position doing this for students. And I think that it would be our job to go out everywhere on campus. We want students to see us, know what we do, and how we can help them. Okay.
Awesome. All right, Jordan, this one is specifically for you. How will you invest in the personal and professional development of your team?
Yeah, so since I've had many leadership positions, I would just say using those experiences to guide the team, but also learning from the team and learning my shortcomings and how to grow as a leader. So just investing a lot of time and a lot of ability into this role.
What are some of your plans for campus improvement, whether it be campus life, engagement, or just overall community?
In my opinion, that this campus, it looks pretty, but it doesn't exactly look the prettiest. Like, you could walk outside and you could be like, yep, this is Western, but nothing really defines Western. I think we could have some more green space, make people want to be outside, make people want to leave their rooms and stay on campus. I think it would be a really good place for students to want to go. We need more third places in the world. Like, people work, people go to class, people sleep. But where do you go if you want to have fun and just be yourself? I think on campus is a really good spot, and we just need better facilities. I think we have really good facilities, but I think they need to be used more, increase engagement. I think by having a good structure, people will want to be out.
The audience wants to know why Buster isn't here.
It's because I am Buster. Can't be too
Alex is the secret mascot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't say that.
What are your how will your teammates balance out your weaknesses?
Yeah, I would say we all have like a pretty good range of, strengths, but also weaknesses. So just picking up the slack wherever our other teammates fall short, I would say that's pretty much it.
Okay. Leadership involves a lot of being misunderstood. How do you respond to that?
Do you want to all answer this question? Yeah.
Could you repeat it one more time?
Yeah. Leadership, the audience wants to know, leadership is all about being misunderstood. How would you respond to that misunderstanding?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of the times misunderstanding stems from misinformation. I think that one of the most important parts about having serving the student body, rather, is making sure that that misinformation is not spread. So working with the Director of Marketing Outreach, making sure that when we are talking to people, we're all on the same page about things and how we say it. I think that that's also a way that we can fix that misinformation ring. But yeah, I think that sometimes it gets really frustrating, but other times it's like you just got to talk to them and then boom. Sometimes people just don't want to communicate, and that's okay too. You have to pick your battles.
I think to keep people from being misunderstood, it'll always happen. There will always be slip-ups, but just taking a step back, being really clear about what's happening, knowing details will be the most important thing to keeping people in the know. Like, you can't just say, oh, we're thinking of doing this, and then jump to this conclusion. You have to compose yourself, know exactly what you were talking about. Don't make any false promises that you can't keep.
I would just piggyback off what Luke said, just presenting all the details that are available, explaining both any side and presenting the correct facts.
Yeah. All right, Luke, this one is specifically for you. What are your plans and priorities as vice president?
Okay, well, my priorities are kind of what I've said earlier. I would like to make you proud to be a student at Western. We would like to bring back traditions that students love. Car bash is a big one that we would like to see. We want to know what students want. We all have these small little things in our daily life that we abide by, don't step on the W. But I think that having these traditions kind of be in our core makes us who we are as a Western student. That's kind of what I would like to work on. I want to know what makes people proud to be a Western student, and how can we make you feel prouder?
Yeah, that's great. Jordan, this another one's for you. How does the role of chief of staff benefit the student body?
I would say it benefits the student body because it takes a little pressure off of the president. It's like a go-between the president and then the staff, just setting the agenda and making sure the agenda that is set is executed well. So I would just say it helps with the events that we do host and our output of events.
All right. How would you encourage students to get involved in an RSO, like the Western Herald, or their student government?
Yeah, I think that that kind of goes into our meaning aspect of our campaign. So finding your meaning at Western, finding what you love, who you love, and what you like to do. So one thing that I always, promote, especially as orientation student leader and a fall welcome ambassador, I've always promoted getting involved in at least one RSO. That could be an academic RSO, that can be a social RSO, anything like that. Not everyone's going to like student government. That is not everyone's thing, and that is okay. And not everyone is going to enjoy being a part of one RSO or the other RSO. But going out there, putting yourself out there, and finding what you like is really important.
I would say just step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Like, I first found out about WSA in like my first or second week here because of a presentation the Honors College is doing about it. I'm like, I was in student government in high school for like my last semester. I don't know if I really want to go. And then I decided I'm just going to show up once. I'm not going to know anyone there, and that's okay. And I showed up, and it really clicked. So I think people need to be like, you can be afraid to do things. That's what we all are. We're all afraid. We just need to like take that one step forward, take a little leap of faith, and know that failing is okay. Like, you can go somewhere and not like it, but it's all about finding that one thing that really speaks to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I would just say, yeah, taking the first step is definitely the hugest like challenge to overcome. But I feel like just looking at what RSOs have to offer and what we as student government have to offer could get you involved as well.
All right, the audience wants to know how you plan on balancing fun while getting stuff done.
Well, one thing is, as I've already talked about, having fun and doing all your work that you have to do, there's also spaces that you have to set to get that stuff done and to, lock in, get serious, do what you got to do. It's important to establish those. So during meetings, during cabinet meetings, maybe during assembly meetings when we're sitting and watching the meeting, maybe that's when we get stuff done. Or maybe on your own, you have set times and maybe, saying, hey, cabinet, like make sure you're, that's Jordan's job, not mine. But, doing that, I think that also having those spaces for like team bonding and things like that will be important as well, to have that fun piece.
I would definitely say, like, get the work done first and then fun comes later. So just presenting or promoting that the work aspect comes first and then you can have fun after to relax. And this is a high stress job, very engaging. So I would say fun is important, but of course the work does come first.
Yeah.
Part of the fun that I see in this job is getting the work done. Like, I'm a music major. A lot of people don't like practicing, but I have to sit in a room for like a couple hours a day practicing, and that is my fun. Like, a lot of people find it really tedious, but I know I am working towards something bigger. So my fun is having a project, having a goal in mind, and just simply working at that goal. I like to have the work. It's just fun knowing that you can change something on campus, make life a little bit better just for one single person. Just seeing a little bit of change can go a long way.
All right, Alex, this one is specifically for you. You played a big role in the founding and the creation of the Legacy. Why did you decide to create this newsletter, and why is it helpful for students?
Yeah, so I wanted to I didn't create the Legacy. That happened, I think, 2 years before I became a freshman at Western. But during the period of my freshman year, it didn't happen my sophomore year when we were undergoing our rebrand, but then I brought it back up this past year. This is a really big thing for the Western Student Association for students, to have a newsletter that goes out to every single student made by students. I was really excited about it. That was kind of my big project this year, was the Legacy. I think it's been going really, really well. And I hope that it continues to go really, 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 really well, because it does provide some kind of external outreach to students who might not even know that Western has a student government. Because everyone gets the email, and 38% of people open it, which for a campus-wide email, that is pretty big. So I love the old Legacy. I love working on it. It's so much fun. And I hope that next year I could possibly have a role in it as well, just by sitting there talking about it. But yeah.
Awesome. So you all have been involved in WSA really your whole time here as students. What has been your favorite thing about being a part of WSA?
I would say being the voice for students. I feel like it's interesting having that connection with admin, and then also like being there for the students. That's interesting for me. I personally work with the athletic director, so being able to like see what event or what part of a sporting event worked and incorporating into the next is always interesting, and that's one of my favorites.
Do you want to go?
Sure. I think my favorite part about WSA is the people that are in WSA. Everybody is not afraid to voice their opinions, their concerns, everything. Like, I know student government is not perfect. Like, there are ups and downs, but I think that one thing that I can respect is that if someone does have an issue, they're very vocal about it. And I think that is one of the best things to have in a student government, because we can't help if we don't know who needs to be helped or what they need help with. And I think that's a great part of WSA.
Yeah, I think that talking about the people, I've met so many amazing people in WSA. I think a lot of people forget that this is also some of our, like, for some of us, this is our RSO that we've put like a lot of our time and commitment into. And I've also, I've just met the best people. I've met some of my best friends. I've met Sam, my partner. It's just a really great place, and I have a lot of fun with it, and I'm really passionate about it, and I love it. But yeah.
All right, if you guys could change one thing at our university for the better, what would it be? It could be anything. Dream big.
More Buster. That's it.
More Buster.
If I could change anything, this is like if I was president of the United States for the day. I would make it so that honestly, more Buster is a pretty good answer. I do love Buster. I know what I would change. I would make the qualifications to be in the Buster costume at 5'2", because I'm too short to be Buster, but I would make it so that I could be.
If there's one thing I could change about this university, I think it would just be a more broad sense of community. Like, one of my favorite things to do is just go outside and just see people anywhere. Like, just last night, it might have been 2 nights ago. Yeah, last night. I was just out, I got some grapes in the store, and I was just feeding the ducks by the pond. Like, it's just one of my favorite things to do, just go somewhere. Like, I don't feed the ducks usually, but it's just nice to go out, do something, see people, like, engaged with campus. It doesn't have to be Western related. It's just nice to see people, like, just being human. And I think that's one thing I would change. I would like to see more human at Western.
Yeah. All right, so this is for all of you, really. But what is your strategy in delegating work? Question from the audience there.
Yeah. I would definitely say one, just separating them into like the departments that they work with. If it's like a DEI question, give it to the executive officer of DEI. And then also I would say like sporting with pride, just delegating it like based on the task. And if they need help, we can always create like means of collaboration and then teamwork through that.
Yeah, I think something that I'm really excited about is utilizing all of the parts of WSA. So utilizing legislative leadership more is going to be really exciting. So, if I'm working on something really that has to really do with like the Fine Arts College, I'm going to bring in the Fine Arts chair and have them help me. Or if it's something that has to do with the Lee Honors College, I'm going to bring in the Lee Honors College chair. I really want to have that cross work of our leadership. I think that would really help delegating those tasks, and then also just creating a more unified WSA.
I think a big part of delegating work is not to put too much pressure on the other person. Like, I have a committee. It's kind of relaxed, maybe a little too relaxed, but those that show up, I'll propose some ideas. I would say, here's what I plan to do. I normally take on the brunt of it. And like, if you want to help out, here are things that you can do. Like, who would like to fill in a role? Like, people, I like to have a project, and like, if you want to help, please ask me. Like, I can help put you in a place. You can choose a place. Like, if you're a volunteer, you're a volunteer. You're a student. You're a human first. Like, delegating work, like, I can't put too much on a student. So it's all about knowing a healthy balance and what can we do together to get things done.
All right, so as we wrap up here, this will be the last question for the slate. How have your prior positions in WSA prepared you for the offices that you are currently running for?
Yes.
Well, I would say as University Pride, although it is an internal facing position, I feel like it allows me to like learn the organization like from the inside as well. I know how cabinet interacts with each other and what to expect. And since I am currently the chief of staff, I'm just growing that role and like that qualification, I guess, to better lead the team going forward.
Yeah, so I started WSA as the senator for the Lee Honors College, and we don't even have senators anymore. So I got to see that really cool transition from a two bicameral, if you know what that, I feel like I don't even know what that word means, to the assembly. That was really cool. I was also a part of the allocations commission for a short time, so I know a little bit about how that works. And then obviously Director of Marketing and Outreach. When you're working in this position, you work with every single position in WSA. You are working with everyone on their events and what they do. So I've really gotten a good grasp of external facing issues and internal facing issues. Also, like, I feel like during my 2 years as Director of Marketing and Outreach, I've really grown as a leader. So I'm really excited to apply that to a different role next year.
I feel like my time serving the College of Fine Arts, it's kind of like, it feels like this, but on a smaller scale. Like, I still go out. I'm in the lobbies of the academic buildings. I talk to the students. I hear their concerns. I go work with administration. Like, I get to work with deans, directors, outreach specialists. I get to talk to everyone in administration, students, faculty. I think that's really prepping me for this, because I will just kind of continue doing what I do, but on a larger scale to represent all people, getting bigger projects done outside of just the College of Fine Arts.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys want to say to the audience or the people listening online before we?
There's a
Yeah.
QR. Is this?
That's the QR code to the election ballot.
Oh.
Yeah, we can take one more question.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what is it? To foster a community?
Yeah.
So the question was, correct me if I'm wrong, how are you going to best foster a community here at Western?
Luke. Okay. Well, I think we've just got to talk to people more, really. Like, we've been doing more events in the Student Center. Like, we've been walking in here almost every time. There's people at tables, like, trying to talk to people or do a bake sale or something. I think that it's really important just to have people out seeing each other. Like, I would like to hear from every single student on all their issues. Like, I think we want to bring RSO leaders to tables, to the table. We want to bring individuals to the table. We want to know every issue that's going on campus. Like, I want to help people. I want to know what we can do to make people want to come here. So it's just a lot about collaborating with other students and knowing what we can do for them.
Does that
Is that? Okay.
If you,
We can just talk after too.
yeah.
Thank you for participating. That's great. All right, so before we sign out here, remember to vote, especially those of you online. You can vote on Experience WMU. If you are in person, you can use one of these various QR codes we have centered around the gathering stairs. We have a voting booth in-person opportunity tomorrow. There will be sugar involved if you're on the fence. Yeah, so we're going to sign off. Onward for the brown and gold, and make sure you vote in your student body presidential elections this year. Big shout out to the Western Herald again. Thank you for live streaming. You guys are the best.